Hello friends, welcome back to this series of tenses. And in this video, today we will learn that is the part of present perfect tense and that is 6. In this part, today we will explore that is, irregular verbs. Okay, not regular, irregular verbs. Today we will learn the present perfect tense with irregular verbs. Okay, last video we practiced regular verbs. Now in this video today we will practice the irregular verbs. Okay, sometimes what does the irregular verbs mean? The irregular verbs mean that is sometimes the word changes, the word completely changes. Sometimes the verb changes a little bit, and sometimes the verb doesn't change at all. Every kind of forms of the verb from present to past participle is same. Okay, so this is called the irregular verb. So you have to memorize the irregular verb and you have to remember all kinds of irregular verbs from your head. So there's an appendix or there are some words, and also there are variety kinds of irregular verbs which you can read the grammar and then other kinds of textbooks, and also you can also talk about this with the AI tools. Okay, by this you can gain your knowledge. Okay, so no more talking, let's get started. So here, the first rule that is here, the rule is same, okay? The rule is same here because the rule is same just like a regular verb, just past participle is different, that is irregular, okay? Because it connects with the regular verbs very, because everything is same, only except for the past participle. Okay, so let's see. The structure is same here. So let's emphasis on the positive ones. Here we can say, we can use have what? I have eaten. Eat, it is the present form. It is the past form. Eaten is the past participle form. Eat, ate, eaten. It completely changes. Okay, so every kinds of the forms of the verbs are different. So here on these, the eaten, including one of them, and it is past participle, or we can say verb 3. I have eaten, you have eaten, we have eaten, they have eaten, but he has eaten, she has eaten, it has eaten. Same here, the negative. During the negative, we have to use the word of haven't. Or if you want, you can also use the have not. But when you want to contract it, you have to cross the O and then add the apostrophe. Then it becomes like this. I haven't eaten, you haven't eaten, they haven't eaten, we haven't eaten. Okay? Same here. He hasn't eaten, she hasn't eaten, and like this. Okay? Same like haven't. So we have already understand the positive and negative. And then we will just explore the question. Then, in this case, in this matter, the structure changes in their order. On the time, you have to put the helping verb before the word of subject. But the verb is still in that place. For example, have I eaten? Have you eaten? Okay, because everything is same, just past participle is different. Okay, so if you watch the regular verb, then it will be easy for you to practice the irregular verb. But the only difference is that is the past participle. Okay, so no more talking. Let's pay attention. I have eaten. Have I eaten? Sorry. Have you eaten? Have we eaten? Have they eaten? But has he eaten? Has she eaten? Has it eaten? Same like up here. Okay? Same like up here. But if we want, we can add the Have not I eaten, has not he eaten, okay? It's the informal one. But if we want to make it formal, let's emphasis, let's always use the word of formal one. So we have to add the apostrophe, cross the apostrophe and add the apostrophe word. Same here, okay? Same here. So let's see. If we want to make it into the negative form of question, then it becomes like this. Haven't I eaten? Haven't you eaten? Haven't we eaten? Haven't they eaten? Same like of here. Hasn't he eaten? Hasn't she eaten? Hasn't eaten, and going like this. We can also add the person's name. So here we have already understand this. But we can also talk about this. Okay. Now we will practice this with W's question. So let's impasse this. Today we can take the many kinds of variety kinds of W's question except when. Same. Both of the verbs, irregular and regular, we can use these words, okay? But except this, we can use variety kinds of W's questions, okay? Or you can say W's words. So today we can use what? Then we can say like this, let's focus and let's practice this. Let's explore this with positive form of question. Forget about the word of not or haven't. What have I eaten? What have you eaten? Just keep this, remember, have or has. What have we eaten? What have they eaten? Same like here. What has he eaten? What has she eaten? What has it eaten? Same combination, same connection with what? Regular verbs different. Okay? And now let's practice the negative form of the ones. What haven't, remember this, I eaten. We can also say what have I not eaten like this, but it takes time. We don't need to. We have to practice the formal. What haven't I eaten? What haven't you eaten? What haven't we eaten? What haven't they eaten? What hasn't she eaten? What hasn't he eaten? What hasn't it eaten? What hasn't Arjon eaten? What hasn't Korim eaten at his house? Okay. What hasn't Shuli eaten for her mother? Okay. So we can make this and we can add the extension after the word or verb. So here we have already practiced the W's question. We can also add here with this positive and negative form, both of them, how long, what, where, why, and variety kinds of W's words, which we have already get it. Now, we can practice the one of the irregular verb. But there are kinds of rules. Sometimes the irregular verb differently, completely changes. When you read it on the book, you will find that everything is changed here. For example, that is, I have written here that is eat, ate, eaten. Same here. If I use go, went, gone. So every verbs are different of this. It completely changes. The words are different. The spellings are different. And the next rule is sometimes it changes a little bit. For example, that is, if you imagine, the present is different and past and past participle is same. For example, that is meet, met. So here meet is only one that is different, but past and the past participle form is that is of meet, that is met. It's the same. And another rule is that is sometimes this verb doesn't change at all. Every kinds of forms of the verb is same from present to past participle. So let me give you one example of the verb of the irregular, that is put. Okay, so these are the rules, and by following these three rules, irregular verbs are used. So there's appendix, or there's many variety kinds of definitions and examples on the book. So if you study the book and when you get it, you have to just mark the underline as well. Okay, then you will understand, and then you can use it. So let's use one irregular verb. For example, that is our irregular verb is have. Why can't you use the one irregular verb that is to have? Yes, that's crazy. Here we are watching have, and also there's a one verb is have. Yes, that's action verb as well. To have. Okay, we can use the verb only verb of to have. But what's the past participle form of have? So have becomes had. Have, had. It changes a little bit. Past and past participle form is same, but present is different, and which is have. So what is had? Which is the past participle verb 3 form. We can write here had. I have had. Okay, then I haven't had, like others, like you, we, they, with these. The next is have I had, and also we can also make this with questions with the positive form. That is what have I had. Okay, same here. Oh yes, I have already forget to tell you. That is had. Had is the have is the synonym of the verb eat. Okay, but I have just written this to make you all understand. What have we had? What have they had? If you want to make it negative, what haven't I had? What haven't you had? What haven't we had? What haven't they had? Same example of here, we can write had, and then we can say he has had, she has had, it has had. Same here, we can write instead of this, that is had. Okay, remember, eat and had is same, it's the synonym, but I have just written this verb to make you all understand. Same here, he hasn't had, she hasn't had, it hasn't had. Same here, has he had, has she had, has it had. We can also say what has he had, what has she had, what has it had. Also say what hasn't she had, what hasn't it had, and go on like this. Okay, remember, eat and have is same. It's the synonym, I have written this. Okay, but there are many kinds of separative forms of irregular verbs. For example, that is drink, drank, drunk. Okay, catch, caught. Like this, catch, caught. So only this, we can also say that is I have caught, I haven't caught, have I caught, or you can use the WH words and WH words with this. Same here, he has caught, she has caught, it has caught, he hasn't caught, it hasn't caught. Same here, has he caught? And with this, you can use the WH words. Okay, hasn't he, she caught, hasn't it caught? And you can use the WH words like this, where hasn't she caught, where hasn't it caught. Okay, so these are the main rules of this one. Okay, so these are the main rules, so you have to remember. And I have read this, the eat and had is the exceptional one. Don't be worried, I have just written this. But eat and had are the different verbs. Okay, but it indicates the same action. Okay, so I hope if you have understand there are many kinds of that is irregular verbs on the book. So if you read this, then you can get it and use with that. So for now, thanks for watching my video, and bye for now.